Manchester for an early-ish walk around. My plans this morning were to go to Salford Quays for some blue hour photography, but the conditions weren't right for the photos that I wanted. So I'm not going to waste the day. I thought I'd come to Manchester. The sky's a bit nondescript, so it's hard. There's just no definition there in the sky. But we've still got a couple of shots of it. One of them being the steps to Oxford Road Station. And another one just behind me. I'll just turn this round and show you. But what I thought we'd do is go to the Hotel Gotham and take a fine art picture and do some simple editing and just to show you what I do. So let's get going. So this is the Hotel Gotham. It's a former bank. Now been made into a luxury hotel, but it's really packed amongst all of the buildings. What I think I'm going to do is go down the side and get a side view of it. There's not as many people and the cars are already parked there, so we should be okay. Now I don't really want the sky like that, but we can sort everything out in posting that. It's a simple technique I can show you. So let's get the picture taken and back home to the computer and get some editing done. Now here we have our image opened in Lightroom. We're not going to do a great deal there, just going to up the shadows, remove chromatic aberration, and that's really it. But the important thing here is we go to the top here. We're going to change it to black and white, and then we're going to open it all up in Photoshop. Image in Photoshop. We've just straightened everything up a little bit, and now what we're going to do, we're going to tidy things up. So to do that, if you're on a Mac, we need to add another layer. Command and J, which puts a new layer in there, and we're going to rename this layer Cleanup. Now if we look at our image here, on the left hand side there's a bit of another building there. We don't want that there, it's just distracting, and we're going to select it. Now there's plenty of selection tools there, the top two usually do. So we've made our selection there. Then from there we're going to go to Edit, Fill, then make sure your Content Aware is highlighted and press OK. Now you may need to do this a few times. It's just one of the ways of getting rid of bits that you don't want, and once that's fully clear we can move on. If you're struggling with the Content Aware, another way of removing things, got your selection, go down to the clone stamp tool, you've got that selected. Because this sky is pretty nondescript, there's no definition there, just sample that, there we go, and that removes, and you just do that to take away all the parts you don't want. At this point I always like to make a new layer, but a new flat layer. So to do that on a Mac it's Command Option Shift and E, and on a Windows computer it's Control Alt Shift and E, and this gives us a new layer. Now from there what we're going to do is select the sky. We're just going to make a selection of the sky, so we go to Select, on the drop down box click on Sky, and as you can see that's made a pretty good selection of that. Now we're going to keep coming back to this selection, so what we need to do is save that. So go to Select again, go right down to the Save Selection, and a pop-up box comes here, and we just simply type in Sky. And press OK. Right, what we're going to do now, we're going to give this building a little bit more definition. in its black and white state. Now there are many ways to do this. You can go onto the adjustments, and it comes up and you've got a curves adjustment, doing the contrast. You even got a black and white adjustment layer you can put on, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is use the black and white gradient map. So what we're going to do first of all is load up our sky selection. So we go on to select, load selection, and it says channel there. We go down to where it says sky, press OK, and you can see our selection again, but that's just selecting the sky and we want to work on the building. So we go back into select and inverse. As you can see, now the building is selected and the sky isn't. So we go down to our selections at the bottom and click on gradient map. Now when you first look at the gradient map, you've got the method here, and this is perceptual. What you need to do is go down and click on classic, and as you can see, it already makes a little bit of a difference. Click on the gradient line, going that way, and then you can start altering. There is no right or wrong way of doing this. It's your photo, it's your choice on how it looks, and it just changes everything. As you can see, a little bit of work, just get it how you like it, how you're going to want it. I think that's a bit too dark. How you're going to want it, and then press OK. The more time you spend on this, obviously the better your photograph's going to look. I'm quite happy with that now. What we're going to do now is introduce another flat layer on a Mac. It's Command, Option, Shift and E, and that brings another flat layer in. We go back to our selections now, click on select, load selection, and in the channel box go down to sky, and this will bring up our sky. What we're going to do now is darken that sky. So we'll go to adjustments, and we're going to do an exposure adjustment layer. So this basically can make our selected area darker or lighter. You don't need to go too dark or too light, it really is up to you. Again, this is just a case of playing about with it, and when you're happy with it, you can stop. Sometimes you'll get some light bleeding around the building, as you can see there. It's not ideal. What I would do in that case, put another layer on, another flat layer, Command, Option, Shift and E, gives us another flat layer. Now select the sky once again, so it's select, load selection and sky, press OK. So your sky's selected. You get your clone stamp now, because your sky's selected. You're not going to go into the building, so you just go around the head, around the edge, and it's going to get rid of all that bleeding into it. So we're going to be quite happy with that one. Like I say, there's only you who knows what it's supposed to look like, how you want it to look like. The more time you're spending it, the better. And you can do this with any types of building really. I hope that helps. So these are a few of the pictures that I took on the day.